didn't have an easy experience. And you know what the greatest honor I've ever received as a player is? In my 4th year and my 5th year, I was named team captain.
Just before Frizzell got him, and a leaping interception by Woodson, who got a foot down somehow inbounds.
Thomas, touchdown, Wolverine.
Nice call.
Here's a look at Boston and Woodson on the outside. They're just standing there, now they're fighting.
One man. Goodbye. Hello, Heisman.
Plant their flag in the middle of the Ohio State field, and the Buckeyes rushed right.
Play fake. McCarthy scanning downfield and throws it high, and Wilson's got it. Bowman Wilson weaving down inside.
There it is. They won't pull that down. Chris, as they say in Ann Arbor, conquering heroes, victors valiant, Michigan, national champion.
Good evening, Wolverines Backers Nation. How are we doing this Tuesday evening? Kyle, my man, what's going on?
It's doing as good as it possibly can at this point.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough weekend for the state of Michigan. Lions didn't look good. Michigan didn't look good. Both looked pretty unprepared. But after
the whole Ben Affleck, perfectly describes the weekend we had as Detroit / Ann Arbor football fans. But hey, such is life. Here we go.
But I figured I would surprise you with something that would cheer up yourself up after the weekend. And here you go, brother.
That ball came popping out. It's incomplete. Will Johnson with the...
You can't go wrong with some Wolverine on Buckeye crime in the NFL as Will Johnson unleashes a
that was like a Mikey
Sammerstill
style hit. Yeah.
It's funny how you always hear about the Wolverines who never do good, but you never hear about the ones that do excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I think because there's another saying in there too. Another saying in there that when you're doing your job, you never want your bosses to talk about you or to talk to you, and silence is like the best form of gratitude. But that was a beauty hit. That really, obviously, Johnson wearing 0 looked a lot like Mikey Sammerstill when he lit up the Buckeye in the game last year. And I'm so excited at the moment about that I forget the Buckeyes. So the Buckeye fans, leave it in the comments. Let me know how much I shouldn't have forgotten that guy's name, but let's go.
So Biff Poggi, interim head coach. What are you thinking, brother?
Well, I'm not as funny as I think I am. So I thought there's like a sports almanac and Biff, joke in there somewhere, but I couldn't think of it. But I think what we just need to do is get through these couple games. And I don't think play calling can get much. I don't want to say worse because it wasn't like the worst. But I think if we can just stay the course, and I don't want to call these cupcake games because I think with the New Mexico game, we saw that cupcake might be the wrong word for any of these lesser opponents. Because I don't want to, lesser opponent might not ever be the right character, the right thing to say. But but let's try and get through these games with confident wins. The era we live in now with NIL, with expanded playoff, more importantly than NIL, I think. Like, let's just win the football game. And early season wins and losses with a freshman quarterback can help us get to that playoff.
Well, I'm going to call it a cupcake right off the start. Let's be honest. Central Michigan's quarterback has 145 yards this season so far. Their leading running back 112 yards, and their leading receiver 78. If this game's close, we have a lot bigger problems than most Michigan fans want to admit right off the bat.
Touching on that, though, we are dealing with the with the penalties of the scandal. It still doesn't change the fact. It'll never change the fact. I don't care what any Buckeye says, but we're dealing with that right now. Okay?
Yeah, but listen,
we got off easy. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. But we got off easy. Okay, we can roll with that if that's what you want. If you don't like me, as not you specifically, but as the Michigan fandom, we're dealing with it right now. With this,
but listen, let's be honest here. Sharon Moore is going to be there until Saturday morning at 12:01 a.m. It's going to be his game plan, his offense. I personally don't like the fact that it's Biff Poggi of all people. Sharon gives me the feeling, and it's feeling more and more like this is still a Jim Harbaugh type team. And I would like to see it move to a Sharon Moore type team, but I don't know what Sharon Moore is yet. After last week, I could tell you this: he's very conservative, like Harbaugh.
What I was feeling, and like you and I watched that game together, the Oklahoma game. We watched it together, and I feel like I was a little more optimistic than you were in certain points in time, because I don't know if you got any of my reactions pointing at your television on camera, but we were never really out of it. But then when the clock hits zero and you are out of it, then we can go back in hindsight and we can look at everything they did wrong. And there's plenty that we did wrong, that Michigan did wrong.
I think, to be honest, after going back and watching it, I think we were out of it right from the start.
I disagree.
That game plan was never going to put us in it.
So those are two different things.
Those
are two different things.
No, it's not. That game, the score, if it wasn't Oklahoma making mistakes, that score would have been a lot worse.
That's every football game ever.
Our offense was too conservative.
Agreed.
After watching it, what it does tell me is I don't think the coaching staff thinks Underwood's ready for those type of games.
Agreed.
It's more that they coach to protect him instead of letting him play. And it cost us the game because Oklahoma made the mistakes. They gave us a chance to be in the game. And instead of us capitalizing, they handcuffed the quarterback and not let him be anything that he was because they're scared he's going to get hurt. And Sharon even said it at the press conference on Monday that you need two quarterbacks if you're going to run your quarterback. But that's on Sharon, because why don't you have another quarterback then? We have enough money in NIL that we could have brought somebody else in. And if it wasn't Mikey Keene, if it wasn't some of these other guys, go out and get the best quarterback you can.
We did. We did
Okay?
go out and get the best quarterback we could.
We'll get another one. I'm done with this. He's 18. He's a kid. You play D1 football. It's your second start. You get paid over $1 million a year. Let's go. Take the leash off. Take the leash off and let him play. Enough's enough.
And enough isn't enough in my opinion right now. If you wanted to release him, release the hounds, Mr. Burns, let him go. Let him do it. And then he gets hurt. And then what do we have? We got nothing. But
I don't care. That's football.
But that's football, right? You're always gonna, like, as a Lions fan, and this isn't a Lions podcast, this is a Michigan football podcast. But Jared Goff gets hurt. Lions are kind of fucked, right? And that's even after last week. But like right now, the kid is so young. You and I both predicted a Michigan loss. So what I don't get, and I think the majority of Wolverines Nation did predict a Michigan loss, going to Oklahoma, going to Norman. God, that name, just thinking of that it's given me like palpitations. You know what I mean? So Lincoln's coming up soon in another former Big 12 team, but we're getting ahead of ourselves, or at least I am. We were never out of it. Remember the whole time where I was stomping around your living room being like, it's only one score. And even if it was two, that was earlier in the game. And then before it got to the point where Michigan did lose, it wasn't over until then. Okay, what we did wrong, and by we I mean Michigan, obviously, we didn't allow our young quarterback to do what he may be capable of. But it's not often that you just let a young quarterback do whatever he wants whenever he wants to. And I'm not saying we kept him from doing what he wanted to, but I don't see it as bad, I feel, as like the national media is making it look. But at the same time, the national media are obviously built Underwood up to be like this unstoppable powerhouse. But like, there's very few rookies / freshmen who win it all in their first try. And that is why we have so much more time. We have, if we can't learn from our mistakes, then maybe
so
some of the worry is granted.
No,
but
perfect.
Learning from the mistakes is key. And there's other quarterbacks who are freshmen who are doing it in our conference. Just saying, who's winning football games, but like it's not. I don't think this is the end of the world.
No, it's not the end of the world, but it's like you just said, learning from your mistakes. Let him make the mistakes. Run, pass.
That's exactly true.
Run, pass is not learning. You're not developing.
But run, pass.
You're not developing. You're not developing the young man. You are playing. You're literally playing. You're playing a Davis Warren offense. Open it up. Enough.
Fine.
And
you and I both knew.
And you're not going to see it against Central Michigan because he's going to end up going. He's going to go out. He's going to pass for. Okay, so what do you? Let's go this way instead.
Yeah.
What do you expect from Underwood this weekend?
What I hope to see, what I expect. Well, those are two different things. Okay, so what I expect to see is improvement, and massive improvement, because we're going up, and I don't ever want to say, because I have a close friend who played for Western Michigan, not Central, but Western, and I don't ever want to say that these are lesser athletes or lesser people or lesser, but the teams are, okay? I really just want to see more dominance from him. I don't think his arm was off. I don't think what they allowed him to do was held back. And I still don't know why they did that or why Sharon did that, because he's ultimately the person who has to answer for why we didn't win the football game. And it was a one-score game for a lot longer than I think people remember. But we need to score points. We need to do it aggressively. And all of the small things that we did wrong, we need to correct this week and next week so we can win next week. But that's what I expect. I expect to see improvement. I don't expect to see a 52-7 or 52-3 blowout. We just need to win the football game. I don't care if we drop in the rankings, because the way the playoff is set up now, we just need to win and move on and learn. We don't win the national championship this year, fine. We still could, but fine. We have this young man who we're hoping is a generational / amazing talent. He played one bad game so far, and two bad games, really, if you want to think about it. And the coaching staff did as well. But let's let it develop. Because I think anyone who's watching this or listening to this, say we got Notre Dame fans, hopefully we got Ohio State fans, hopefully we got Michigan State fans, hopefully all watching us right now. Everyone who is a real fan of college football knows that it doesn't just happen. Okay? We need to let it progress. We just need to see improvement, and that's what I'm looking for.
What I expect is the same thing you've seen in the Oklahoma game. It's going to be the vanilla Michigan run on first down, run on second down, 2 yards, 3-yard pass on third down. If you're short, a punt's a win. Play
that kind
field
of football
position.
Got us this. Okay?
Yeah,
and
but that was a different
I'm the biggest
team.
I made a hat that said fire Jim.
No.
Okay? I'm not the biggest fan of conservatism when it comes to football. But yeah, they were too conservative. Okay? We didn't win the football game. We move on. But we are here.
You have to.
I'm not saying it's bad for you to say.
That's what I expect. What I want to see is I want to see him open it up. You got to let him use his legs.
Of course.
You got to let him.
Want to see that.
You got to let him get comfortable. You got to let him be him. And when you let him be him, he's more comfortable to perform. And you know what was a perfect example?
Do we know what he is yet?
Yeah, but you know what you know what he is? He's an athlete. Let him be an athlete.
Chef kiss. Perfect.
And you know what's a perfect example of this? Was the Viking game last night. In the first half, the Vikings played conservative. They played to protect their young quarterback. They played for him not to make mistakes, and all he did was make mistakes. And when they realized that they had to let him go and let him do what makes him comfortable is when you got this.
McCarthy keeps. He's got it. And forces his way into the end zone. Touchdown. Good protection over the middle. It's caught for a touchdown.
McCarthy
Pass is caught, spinning grab by Aaron Jones.
And I'm not saying Underwood's going to be able to do that at 18, but you got to let him develop into that.
Do you remember?
Run.
Do you
pass,
remember the
doesn't let him
mistakes
develop it.
JJ made when he was 18 years old?
Yeah, but I'm okay with
Cade
that.
McNamara was the starter. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
JJ was never put in the situation that sorry, a huge spider just ran across my foot. I'm sorry. I'm scared of bugs. But like, and we know that we knew it, but JJ didn't come in with like the expectations that Bryce is, okay? So like there was a different feeling. Like we didn't steal JJ from LSU. We didn't have all these expectations for JJ. But know what JJ didn't have to do? He didn't have to go to Oklahoma and win his second football game as a collegiate quarterback.
You know what JJ did,
You
though?
know what JJ just did? He won. Go ahead.
You know what JJ did do? JJ cost us the game when he came in and fumbled against Michigan State. And you know what that taught him to do? Hold on to the ball.
Yep.
Protect the ball. You know
So
who's not learning? You know who's not learning that at all right now? Bryce. Why? Because they're not letting him do any of that stuff. You have to let him do it. You have to let him develop. You have to let him play at game speed without second guessing himself. And you can see it. There's plays in the Oklahoma game where you could see he wants to run, and instead he throws a bat or a high pass because he's thinking not to. And you can't let him play like that. And against Central Michigan, if there was any a time to open it up against them.
Yeah, so let's do that.
Let him
do
get
that.
comfortable. Let him get comfortable. Let's see what we have. And if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. He can get hurt taking on a sack. You're not protecting somebody in football. Just let him play. If he gets hurt, then it is what it is.
I get what you're saying, but I also feel like what you're saying kind of contradicts what you want to happen. Okay, we went to Oklahoma, and both you and I last week run the tape. I'm not trying to say like run it because if we don't have the clip ready. But like we both predicted a loss. And for a lot of this game, it was a one-score game. I don't know if you remember me stomping around your living room.
Yes, I remember.
This ain't over. We need to stick with it, because if the score at certain points was opposite, where Michigan was favored and Oklahoma was only within a score or two, maybe 10 points, we'd be like, like they're going to win this football game. I consistently thought they were going to win Michigan, and it just didn't end up happening.
See, I never thought they were going to win that game.
Back now. And we look back at it now, and yeah, conservatism was, in I think both of our opinions, and I think a lot of Michigan fans' opinions, why we lost that game. Lack of preparativeness, lack of maybe using weapons correctly, but we lost a football game that I think everyone expected us to lose. Doesn't matter if you win by 1 or if you lose by 1,000. Okay? You lost the football game. Central's next. Hopefully, we address issues. And I know we don't have Sharon, but there were years and decades that we didn't have Sharon. Does that mean I want him to be gone? No, absolutely not. I want him here. He's a defensive mind. Okay? But it's just we need we need to mistakes, and no one gets better by not learning from their mistakes. Everyone
you gotta let him
gets better by learning from their mistakes.
You can't say that and then also say like, yeah, you gotta play the way they've been playing. It's you. If you're gonna let him learn from his mistakes, you gotta let him make the mistakes.
That's very true. Very true. That's very true. But I think he did make mistakes.
I don't know about that.
Well, he did. He's a freshman. He made a bunch of mistakes.
He made
the whole team made mistakes. The whole team made mistakes. Yes. It's a team sport. We made mistakes. We lost the football game. But now it's about learning from those mistakes, even if it's just a little learning. Luckily enough, we do have a lesser opponent in Central Michigan than Oklahoma. And I don't think anyone in the college football world is going to say that that's an inappropriate statement. We just need to win this game and take away some learning moments and get better as we move on, because we don't have the hardest schedule this year. We don't.
See, I think the schedule is a lot harder than most people.
Then I'm giving it credit for, which is fine, because we do live in the transfer portal / NIL college football world right now. And I'm used to not that. Right. And I think everyone here who's listening is used to not that. But I still don't think we're not South Carolina. We don't have to play an SEC gauntlet this year.
But
we do have a less aggressive schedule this year. So let's just put this one behind us, learn from these mistakes, hopefully. And we still have to deal with like what we have up here. Biff Poggi.
The problem is because Nebraska's
parents hate him from the get-go. Come on, man. But like, let's just win
McFly,
this football game and move on.
Listen, McFly. Because
well done.
Because you have Central
There's
Michigan
the joke.
here.
Here's the joke that I was trying to set up that I couldn't figure out. You did it perfectly. Well done, Michael.
Because Central Michigan is here, we need this game, because the following game we got Dylan Raiola of Nebraska. Okay, he's only completing 78% of his passes for 607 yards. Why? Last year he was allowed to make the mistakes as a true freshman, and it made him better. And he made a lot of mistakes last year.
Are you attempting to prove my point?
No, he got better because of it. They let him but they opened up their offense and they let him do what he was brought in to do.
I see what you're saying.
Not this offense. You got Aiden Childs coming up from MSU, 70%, already at 5 touchdowns, 386 yards. Looks a lot better, starting to look like the guy that we thought he was going to Michigan State. And again, another one, a lot of mistakes last year, a lot of pick sixes, a lot of interceptions. You didn't know where the ball was going when it left his hand. But those mistakes as your first-time starter, benefiting from. Julian Saint, he didn't have the chance to make the mistakes last year, but he got to sit behind a veteran quarterback and learn. And it's because of that, he looks so comfortable now. Underwood doesn't have that. So it's either you're going to go the Dylan Raiola, Aiden Childs, let him be true freshmen and make mistakes, or you're going to go the way we're going now, where we're going to baby glove him. But by baby gloving him, we're also not letting him develop into who he can be.
Yet. Right? Like the guy is supposed to be somebody special. And it's not like when LeBron James went to the Cavs when he was 18 right? Everyone was like, this guy's gonna be special. But he had to prove it, and he did. Yeah, he went to the finals in his second or third year, but he didn't win it. He didn't. You got to give him a little bit of time. You got to give Bryce a little bit of time, and I think one game in Oklahoma doesn't give him that amount of time. And I understand what you're saying, but we're okay. We're okay. I don't want to ever quote Aaron Rodgers, but I think we need to relax.
I'm not saying that we're not okay. I'm just saying that the play calling they're using right now
was terrible.
Is actually a negative for Underwood. It stunts his development. It doesn't help it. It stunts it.
Sure, man. One game. One big-time game.
No,
it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. And I know that's what we're here to talk about. I understand.
It's not one game. When Moore comes out and says it's not even in the concepts yet for him to run the ball, but it will be eventually, that's malpractice. How do you have an athlete like this and you don't even have the concept? If you're going to coach scared, then there's a big problem. At least in my opinion.
I don't think they'd have been malpractice might be a good word, but I don't think they're scared. They just weren't prepared for it. And I think you and I both literally said that last week. And now I'm never surprised when something happens that I expect it to.
No.
Because I'm not sure what the definition of surprise is because I don't have it pulled up. But like if something happens that you're expecting to happen, you can't be surprised. And granted, the play calling wasn't the best. It was super conservative. Why do you think Lloyd Carr didn't keep his job? He wasn't fired. He stepped down. That's because they allowed him to. You don't think that guy was ultra conservative? That guy was the most conservative football coach. I had someone ask me once, why are you so conservative as a sports fan? Like, why do you think this play? I'm like, because Lloyd Carr and Jim Leland, who was obviously the manager for the Tigers and went in a prime, they were two very conservative head coaches. It's been 2 games. We live in the world of the expanded playoff. Okay? It's not gonna matter unless we start losing to inferior competition. And we can't say after 2 games, we didn't perform correctly against New Mexico. And everything happened that we expected, you and I both expected them to lose by a similar margin to Oklahoma. If it continues to happen, then right now I'm not too worried. Like, would I have rather they win? Of course. I mean, come on, if that's what we're talking about. But we will hopefully do better. Let it play out. A lot of people get a lot of flack and give a lot of flack for saying let it play out. But let this one play out.
We're gonna have to because their next litmus test, is coming up fast, and they're gonna have to show something in the CMU game this Saturday on Big Ten Network that they're at least going to give them the option of maybe a little bit to run if it's open. Make teams have to at least defend it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. And
Not
this isn't a 45-minute podcast for me and you to argue about stuff. But
actually, it is.
Tiny Tom Brady? Do we learn from our mistakes and do we move on? Do we become better from losses? Yeah. This is my little tiny Tom Brady. I was waiting like 3 weeks to break him out. My son literally cuddles with this, and he was
I'm
upset
gonna call you
took it from him. You can call me Tiny Tom Brady all you want. That's a compliment.
No, I'm gonna call you. You're so positive. I'm gonna call you Hallmark pretty soon.
I'm positive.
Yes, you're very positive.
I think it's just watching so much football in my life that overreaction. And I'm not saying you're overreacting because you're perfectly entitled to your opinion, and so are people who are negative. I'm one of the most cynical people you'll ever meet in your lifetime. But when it comes to football, I just don't see that this 2 games in. Yeah, do we want to be 2-0? Of course we do.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying
loser
that.
mentality if you don't say you want to be 2-0.
For me,
but
it
is what it is at the moment. This guy comes in, we steal him from a really good program. We steal him from the SEC. Remember 15, 20 years ago when all we could wish is that we could get the athletes from the SEC? Now we got them. Yeah, we made some bad play calls. Very bad play calls. But it was his first big test. It's what happens now. It's how we move forward. Don't let the past ruin you. Let it.
No, I think everybody failed the first test, and now we're gonna have to see. We got to get through Central Michigan, look good, and then we're gonna see. I think it's 3:30 in Lincoln. Another tough atmosphere, and if it looks conservative and it looks the way that it looked against Oklahoma, then I think the conversation is going to change to, because I don't care if Sharon Moore is there or not. This is his staff. This is his staff. They lose that game, then we're going to have a big conversation on, is Sharon the right guy to lead this program?
We're not losing that game. I don't know if we said it last week, but you and I had some like private conversations about like what we think the records will be this year. And I said 1 loss. And I said what that loss was going to be. And that was last week. And it already happened. Now we move forward. And if we don't, then we don't win. Like, we don't. But then there's next year, okay? And then this development of this generational college football quarterback can only get better. And if he doesn't, then everyone should be fired. And we know it's hard to fire Michigan head coaches. We know it is. Michigan.
No, there was one head coach it was hard to fire, and that's just because he played there. The rest should have been. He should have been fired a long time before that. But
what ended up happening?
Yes, we did get the national championship.
Okay, I'm okay with being wrong. I'm okay with eventually being proven I've been wrong. Okay, I got a wife and kids. Every single day I'm proven that something I've said is wrong. Okay?
Well, if you're not wrong, you're not saying nothing usually.
Well, and if you're not cheating, you're not trying. But who said that? I think it was a Notre Dame graduate. But I think we both know that we weren't expecting, you and I, we weren't expecting to win last week's football game.
No.
And we didn't win last week's football game. Okay. And there's multiple reasons for it. But whether or not we thought that they would lose better, if that is even a thing, you can't lose better. Losing is always the worst if you're a competitor. And we lost the football game. So let's move it forward. I'm not saying don't talk about it. That's what podcasts are for. If I'd be saying let's not talk about it, what are we even here for? Okay, perfect shot composition compared to whatever you got going on over there. But I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But like we lost it. And we didn't lose it by that much. At the end, yeah, it becomes hopeless. Because you're like, God, fuck, damn it. Like, if you didn't have such beautiful marble counters in your house, I probably would have broke one because I was mad at certain points in time. But we gotta take what happened on Saturday night, take the big lights off. And if I could just keep my freaking head in the way of this light, you might be able to see it a little better. But like when the big lights are off and we're playing Central, we're gonna win. And if we don't over the next couple of weeks, then we have something to be concerned about.
Is there anything you think we're going to take out of the Central game? Because I don't think there's anything. I think if anything, it's just to find a rhythm, try to find.
Well, that's something. That's something. A rhythm. A pulling guard does something correctly. Leadership from Bryce in certain situations. We've already seen it. We've already talked about it. Where him and Haynes got into it, right? Like there's so many things that we can take out of a game that I don't want to bring it up, but I was the one who said that we don't want to call this a cupcake game. Okay? Because if it is a cupcake game, it should be a 52-0 slaughter that no one can learn anything from. And if you go into a competition with full-grown people and you don't think you can learn from it, whether you win or lose, then that's the ultimate loss. There's so many things we can take from a victory or a close victory, and hopefully, for fuck's sakes, hopefully not a loss. What's that time?
No, it can't be a loss.
If we can only learn from our mistakes in the past, oh yeah, the greatest of all time.
If it's a loss, we're in big trouble. I don't know.
But come on.
I know
we gotta learn.
I know what's gonna come out of this. You're gonna see Bryce put up some yards, and then you're gonna hear, Oklahoma was a fluke, this and that, and the game plan works. I just don't want to see that. I want to see him use his legs a little bit, show some development.
Everyone wants to see Bryce Underwood play like Denard Robinson did against Western Michigan in his first game. Okay. We all want that. But I think Bryce is a little bit, hopefully, brings a lot more to the table in the long run than Denard did. Denard tried his ass off. They kept making him throw the ball. What the fuck was that? But Bryce can throw the football. So let's learn from this. Can you imagine, like, our intro to our podcast is Tom Brady saying, if I didn't learn from not being the starter right away, then I wouldn't be who I am. Like, you don't think there's going to – if Bryce ends up becoming the player that we all want him to be, do you really think there'll ever be a point where he doesn't point out that Oklahoma game and be like, yeah, maybe the coaches didn't let me do what they thought I could, but maybe he'll be like, I wasn't fucking ready to do the things that I thought I could do or that they needed me to do. That was a hard game to play. They played it well enough to not lose by, like, it wasn't a blowout at any point in time. I mean, We all want to win. We all want to win. But we have a generational talent, hopefully, and it's time to let him learn and develop. And yes, if he doesn't learn and develop in the next couple weeks, then we have something to worry about. Right now, we are fine.
No, we're gonna disagree how they should use them, and that's fine. That's part of being a fan, right?
Fan is short for fanatic. You can say whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want, as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else.
So score-wise this weekend, what do you think?
We're playing a MAC team. My prediction was way off for New Mexico, man. Ugh. Because New Mexico played really well, and maybe Bryce wasn't ready for it. I'm going to say Michigan 35 with 2 rushing touchdowns by Mr. Underwood. 2 rushing touchdowns by Mr. Haynes. Maybe a turnover or a touchdown by the defense. Which, if you look at it like that, isn't really that impressive for what people think maybe Central Michigan is bringing to the table. But 35-10, 35-14, somewhere in that area.
35-14?
We're not this team that is going to blow people out. I think that's proven. And if we don't have our head coach on the sideline, maybe Biff is the answer.
I'm going to go.
I'm not ready to say he is.
I'm going to go 27-17.
Okay, cool. I feel like this whole argument about like what happened last week. I feel like that prediction kind of proves my point a little bit.
No, I think 27.
Or are you considering failures on Michigan's side to result in that score? Obviously, any time another team scores, it's a failure. But
no, I think you're gonna see the same thing you've seen in the Oklahoma game, except because you're more talented, some of those plays are gonna work.
Very well put.
That's the only reason you're gonna get to 27.
Just get to 27, right? We're gonna miss an extra point, or we're gonna get 2 field goals.
2 field goals.
Because we missed one.
I know we did.
And you could argue that Zavada is like the best or the most clutch player on our team at the moment. But so either way, we both think we're going to win this week, and we both thought we were going to lose last week, and we were both right last week. So, hey.
It would just be nice to see Michigan move up in the rankings when it comes to plastic.
Fuck the rankings. It doesn't matter.
No,
the rankings do not matter. We live in a world of NIL and expanded playoff. Cool. Yeah, the rankings do matter later in the year. But an early loss is still an early loss to a ranked team.
I wasn't talking about these rankings. I wasn't talking about.
They still look good.
Yes, they do look good. I was saying more of like ranking 110th in pass completions, 8 and 9 in yards a game.
None of that shit matters when the win column is better than your loss column by like double digits. Okay, and that's what we have to.
But if you don't,
we play the games.
If you don't improve on these rankings.
You can still win the football games. Just doesn't make us a great team to talk about. It still doesn't make it this immaculate thing that Bryce Underwood is supposed to be. You know, Bryce Underwood before the season made Chuck Norris nervous.
It makes it a lot harder to get to the 10 wins you're saying. Or sorry, 11.
Yep.
If you're ranked 120th.
Fuck Ohio State.
If you're ranked 120th in pass completions, and it's fuck the whole state of Ohio, not just Ohio State.
I don't know. Toledo and Sandusky are pretty cool.
That's just because you like Cedar Point.
That is. And Kalahari. Boom. And
Yeah,
Toledo. I worked for the Mud Hens and the Walleye. They're pretty good. They're pretty cool too. But it doesn't matter, okay? We need to win football games. And that's all that any of this comes down to. It doesn't matter that we're 100th in this or second in that. Win the fucking game. Show up and win the football game. Win the games you're supposed to. And I'm not sure we were supposed to win the football game on Saturday. And I think our play proved that. But you gotta win the football games. It doesn't matter what individual stats are. It's a team sport. And when the defense and the offense and everything like that becomes such a spectacle because we are Michigan, right? I would have walked from San Diego, but we just need to win the fucking football games. And that's all it comes down to.
Well, we're going to see. Now, the better question was, now Sharon did say that Poggi's not going to wear his traditional cutoff shirt. Do you think you should have let him wear the cutoffs? The no sleeve look?
Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck?
You gotta ask the question. You gotta ask the question.
All I know is there is a pretty good football coach who used to wear, or still does, wear cutoff fucking hoodie sweatshirts who didn't do so well last week. And he might be and is the greatest head coach in professional. I mean, everything's professional football now, but who gives a fuck what people are wearing as long as it's the right colors. As long as Poggi doesn't come out wearing scarlet and gray on the weekend.
You get too fired up.
Win the football game. Who gives a fuck?
Did you take your medication? It was just a question. Did you take your medication today? You get it too fired up. Maybe we should have you call the offense.
There is no amount of too fired up when it comes to Kyle Simpkins and Michigan football.
Maybe we should have you call the offense. Maybe it would be less conservative. We'll get you all fired up.
I would never, ever, in my wildest dreams, of course, would I want it to happen, but you should never want me to call the offense. You want to see, what would it be, a 1-11 Michigan football team? If you let Kyle call the offense. Okay, all Kyle's are good at is drinking Monster Energy. Look, I literally have one right fucking here. We drink Monster Energy drinks and we punch holes in drywall. Okay, I got no holes in my drywall because I built this garage too well. But let's just win the football game. Let's just win. Just win, baby. Who's the new owner of Oakland?
Again, with the little.
Brady. Who's in there? It's Tom Brady. Okay. If we followed this guy's work ethic, that wouldn't mean we would never lose. It means we would attempt to improve. And that's all we can do. As people, as football teams, as any type of athlete, as long as you attempt to improve the next game, that's all we can do. That is literally it. And I think we will. And mistakes were made, but I think we're all right. 11-1, baby. That's what's happening. And you know that last game of the year. Ooh, buddy. You know, Jack Owen Foyer is my favorite nickname I came up for, losers who got so upset that, a flag got planted in their stadium when that happens all the time.
I hope you're
Oregon
right.
threw an axe down in ours and no one
I hope you're right,
got upset. I just got to figure out someone. Is there anyone who could lose 5 in a row? to Michigan, other than like coaching. Oh, Ryan Day. Let me say. Oh, and well, that's what the O will be for then. 0-5. I'm not a lyrical wordsmith, so I can't really.
No, I would like to see. I would like to see him because this face. You got to love the face.
No, I hate that face. I hate that hat. I hate that coat. I hate his stupid beard. I hate his stupid eyeballs. I hate everything about that picture.
You don't like it?
I hate it all. It was
You
cool.
don't-
It came after a loss, but I hate everything about that face.
Seeing that face after a loss is very enjoyable.
I wish I had a shoe polish prop with my tiny Tom Brady and my Monster Energy drink for being a Kyle. I wish I had a little thing of black shoe polish that I could rub in my beard that doesn't grow in correctly, just like his. Okay, there's nothing good about that picture except for the context of the picture about him not being able to control his football team, which is what we couldn't do, which is what Sharon couldn't do last week. Learn. They learned, right? I'll give him that credit. He learned after he decided to call the worst fucking football game of all time.
I think that's
going to be the talent he had. Are you fucking kidding me? But we're fine.
I think that's going to be the word of the next few weeks. Learn. You've been using the word learn a lot.
Well, learning is the only way we move forward. That's how anything progresses.
Well,
you think a business moves forward by not learning, or anything? You can think about species and evolution. Like they didn't go backwards and become successful, right? We need to learn from it. Learn from our mistakes. We need to move forward, and I think we will. We have the right people, hopefully, in the proper positions to win that. And I'll keep going back to this, and I swear I will never stop. You and I both didn't think they were going to win the football game, but it's how they won how they lost. That's the big deal. Yeah, we could talk about why they lost, but we knew they were going to lose. We knew it. Both you and I knew they were going to lose.
But we didn't know they weren't going to compete.
I don't.
And that's the part
I don't think they didn't compete. I want to give you credit though. I think I've given you the gears fairly good here, and that's not just for show people. God, there's a moth in it. This is what happens when you do your podcast in your garage. You got moths flying around you and spiders crawling on your feet. But there was a point in that game. What was it when they muffed the punt?
Yeah.
And you were like, something needs to happen here. And I was like, you're absolutely right, Michael. And then it happened. And it's not because you believed. And it's not because of that. A less superior athlete made a mistake. And I'm pretty sure that team
and then
made that mistake, learned from it, and won.
You know who didn't learn? You know who didn't learn? Sharon Moore. Why? Because then we went run, pass, punt. Oh, sorry. Run, pass, miss, field goal.
What did this team do to earn that? And I don't want to have the argument. I know there's a bunch of Buckeyes going, oh, he cheated because a guy was on the sidelines for a Michigan State. Get the fuck out of here. We are playing we are playing Central, so maybe. But this guy was run, pass. Run, pass. Okay? And I know we didn't have Bryce Underwood, but we had JJ fucking McCarthy.
Okay, that's a valid point. And they also had an offensive line that won the award for best offensive line in the country. We're nowhere close. We're nowhere close to that with this offensive line right now.
We aren't. But that's why we learn. The word of the day is learn.
I'm gonna change your name on this to learn. Just learn.
Cool, man. I'll take it. If I go down in history as the guy who learned from his mistakes, that's something I'll take. I'll take that all day. I hope that's my legacy.
I hope you don't have to learn. I hope you don't have to learn from this.
So we can be back to this glorious time, to these glory days. And I just want everyone out there to know that this is literally a picture I got from a grocery store that is hanging on a car jack with a screwdriver behind it. Because I learned how to hang up this picture so it looks so good.
Well, we're gonna find out. So we're hitting.
I think we took up enough of people's time.
Yes. So we got Central. So we got the scores in. We're gonna win this week, and then depending on how they play, we're gonna be live again Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And that that's on me. He's giving me the gears because
we're not in Chicago
I
time.
may have it was my second day of vacation and I slept in. Okay. That is on me, and I'll learn from that. You know what I'll learn? To set my fucking alarm.
Yeah, you know what I will learn? Not to let you come over.
Not to invite me over to your house.
and let you talk to my brother-in-law for 3 hours when I'm trying to go to bed. That's what I'm going to learn.
Yeah, Mike did try and kick me out of his living room like 8 times while I was talking to his brother-in-law, who happens to be a Fuckeye fan, so whatever. We'll see what happens.
But let's end this here. We got good week. We'll see everybody Sunday morning at 8 a.m. And always go blue. And we're going to leave it with, we might have lost on Saturday, but at least we can spell.